Hi, this is Davidian of Raquel and Davidian. I don't know what to call this video, but if I was forced to give it a name, I'd call it Mark. Or On Your Mark, Get Set, Wait. This is such a great pick to help illustrate your design, aka your vehicle, your unconscious, the life that you're here to live, but most don't because they're too busy living unconscious, conditioned lives. Who you are here to be shows up as the red gates and channels in your chart. And that would be this spaceship. Your personality, the black gates and channels in your chart, represent who you think you are based on who you're not, and which your mind uses to your disadvantage and comprises all aspects of your personality. The conditioning you've received from absorbing and amplifying ambient aura content from those who have defined centers, which are colored in, into and through your undefined or white centers. This all contributes heavily to your mindscape and to the quality of your thoughts, and by extension, your experience. And where you're undefined or open reflects where you're not consistent. This energy cannot be relied upon because it's mutable based on who's in your sphere of influence. Who's in your aura? You're always bringing in new energy from other people, from other frequencies and coordinates through your undefined centers, which when you're unconscious are always influencing your behaviors, your decisions, your inklings. As an example for undefined G people or open G people, don't allow yourselves to be led or brought into crappy feeling environments. Otherwise, you will pay the price. The one bringing you there may be completely clueless to how toxic it is for you, but you will know. You get what you stay for. And what you do with that knowing will decide what happens next. And the being we truly are, innately, without all of our conditioning, where we have definition, doesn't speak as loudly. So we're unaware of what we are transmitting nonstop that others are absorbing and amplifying, thinking it's them. Talk about confusion. It's just not interesting. Not somewhere we place our interest. We're way, way, way more interested in what we're not. By unconscious default, that is. But you're constantly pumping out that energy that other people are absorbing and amplifying through their undefined centers that you have defined. And again, thinking it's them. Since we deeply feel these exposed and sensitive areas so strongly, even though we're amplifying other people's stuff, our minds speak to us as the spokesperson for what is coming through these vulnerable areas. And we often blindly accept and claim the thoughts and feelings we're having as our own. Not just thoughts and feelings, but oh so much more. Like our very identities, pursuits, pressures, pleasures, fears, goals, our tastes, our predilections, our vices. Tragically, many of us aren't living free from undue, incorrect influence. And it's not all about not being conditioned, but about the awareness in noticing the energy when it enters you. Notice when you're being influenced. And are these the right influences? Did you follow your strategy and authority? Is that how you landed where you are right now? If so, then this could be a correct augmentation if you're an undefined G person, for instance, or you can have a really good read, perhaps, on the types of beings that you're around, and that may or may not be a good thing. And if it's not a good thing, then take steps to vacate, and not just blindly accepting that you're the originator of the thought or the feeling or the energy being experienced. Notice when your mind is talking to you. What is your mind saying? Guaranteed it pertains to one of your undefined or open centers, but whatever your mind is saying, try to play the old, which undefined center of mine did this thought come from? A much healthier pastime than just following your mind's advice and guidance. It just happens that we tend to accept whatever we're experiencing as our own. If you can imagine butterflies being other people's energy. You're walking around with a non-stop butterfly net in your open centers. Or you can imagine your mind like a parrot that repeats the same phrases over and over again, but it's not you who it's mimicking. It's mostly those around you, and those parroted phrases are energies that get translated by your mind into words, and you accept those words as your own, but they're not. But that's what you're used to. Your body knows better, but its counsel may have been beyond your grasp. It doesn't show up as words in your head, and it's what's leading and guiding your life. You've just not met it or ever had a way to measure it or quantify it. Look at your chart. The red you there is that feeling you've had your entire life and had no way to put your finger on it. Still can't, but at least you have a map of the territory. This is proper form for an open center receiving input. Oh, so this is what they're working with. Generally speaking, of course, since it's an amplification and possibly a gate-augmented distortion, the better a witness I become, the better my scrutiny in detecting what I'm adding to the translation of the energy. Keep in mind that only a totally open center is not clouding the signal with innate gate noise. It's still an amplification though, and therefore still a distorted view of the other. However, the distortion is simply a matter of amplitude. When you become a cleaner witness, you may become more adept at simply doing the math to determine what they're truly outputting, minus your amplification, to arrive at an impressively accurate read, turning down the dimmer switch to arrive at the correct level of brightness instead of your caricature, sense-felt depiction of their source energy. It's a practice to remain conscious that we're always being influenced. And it's simply about how long can I stay conscious before I go unconscious again, and how quickly can I become conscious again after I go unconscious. That's the game. That's the aim, to make those periods between unconsciousness and consciousness grow narrower and narrower. And so ideally, staying with this analogy from light years ago, your personality, your mind, is here to sit passenger inside and allow the autonomous spaceship, your vehicle, your design, to fly where it's correct for you to do so. And your personality, your mind, has a ticket to ride along on this space tour. And that's called passenger consciousness. That's what you're trying to cultivate. Just being that passenger. Be patient, but have your eyes open so you recognize the clues and the cues to take action. See how life is being brought to you. And all you need to do is follow your strategy and authority, and you're on a trajectory that's going to lead you to success. And anything else other than what your strategy and authority is dictating, again, as far as your big decisions, is folly, because it's going to end up on the bummer side of the spectrum. But you have about as much control, less really, over your autonomous spaceship as you would a tour bus. I would say driverless spaceship, but there is a driver. It's just not you. It's called the magnetic monopole, and it's pulling life to you. It's attracting it. It's attracting all of the correct experiences and people and opportunities and invitations and relationships and experiences and lessons that are correct for you to have, still leading you, guiding you towards your best life. We have an entire video dedicated to the magnetic monopole, the driver of your life that's steering your vehicle to your next happenstance. You can check it out above, if I remember to add the card. So anyway, when you move to initiate an action that was not sanctioned by your strategy and authority, it throws everything off. It's like if you were playing catch with the universe, but it was throwing you blessings instead of baseballs. Let's say you're standing on first base, and the universe is pitching. After all, you're on the same team. And it throws you the ball, these blessings, but you move, so you miss what would have been a softball pitch. To say that you're off base should drive the point home. Embroiled in some misadventure instead, or some event with lackluster, suboptimal results. Whether or not someone's paying attention or not, whether they're listening or not, you need to play your own tune. True. You have to play it cleanly you. Whatever that means, whatever that looks like. And if you're doing you and no one's listening, you're in the wrong place. That's all. It's not you. You're just around the wrong people who don't recognize you, who don't recognize your gifts. Doesn't mean you don't have amazing gifts. It means that you're selling apples in banana land. Seek relationships with people who want apples instead of trying to sell yourself to banana people. Have you checked out our new membership site yet? If you haven't, opt in below, and you'll also have an opportunity, if you haven't gotten it yet, to get your free human design chart. Good luck and good journey.